Okay, for this screencast, we're going to go over the next piece of very important coding, which is called loops. So I'm going to make a script called loops, and I'm going to make it just a script, so I'm not going to have a function header, but let's pose the question that I have a vector x equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and let's just do 5, and I want to know the sum of x. Well, that's 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, right? What's happened in the last video? Okay, so if I type in loops, there we go. Sum of x is 15, right? Now say I do 6, now I have to do plus 6, and then I get 21. Now, I could easily come here and I could go 1, 2, 6, and then do it again and I get 21, and then I could do 1 to 10, but now I have to do plus 7, plus 8, plus 9, plus 10, right? Now, you can imagine if I did 1 to 100, that would take forever to type out. So, there's got to be an easier way to do this, and the answer is, there is. So, let's do 1 to 5 again, and so now I'm going to comment this out, and I'm going to do a for loop. So I'm going to say for, and this is where the structure of the for loop comes in. So the word for starts, and then you need an index. So I like to just call it, I'm just going to write out index. I'm going to say index equals what? Well, I want to start at 1, I want to increment by 1, and I want to end at, say, 5. And then I want to say take the sum of x equals the sum of x plus my index, and then I put an end, and then I have to initialize sum of x equals 0. Okay, so there's a lot going on in here. Let's put this in debug mode so we can see what happens. And honestly, I don't even need this here. Alright, and then I'm going to do a CLC. Okay, and I'm going to hit play. Alright, so now my green cursor is here. Come in here, sum of x is 0, and now I start at 4. Index is 5 right now, but when I hit the next button, index is 1, right? Because I started it at 1, and then sum of x is equal to the sum of x plus 1. So that's 0 plus 1 is 1. So when I hit step, now sum of x is 1. Then instead of finishing the code, it actually comes back up to line 12, but now look at index. Index is now 2. Sum of x is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. So when I hit next, now sum of x is 3. And then I go again, but now index is 3. And I keep stepping through this over and over again until finally sum of x is 15, which is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. And I break out. Now, there are a million things that you can do with for loops. Instead of going from indexes 1 to 5, I could go from 1 to 5 like this. And then it's understood that, I'm going to output sum of x. It's understood that you increment by 1. I could, instead of doing 5, I could have x equals here, and I could go 1 to the length of x. And then instead of adding index, I could add x of index. And now I still get sum of x is 15 when I hit play here. Now, so what's happening here? So if I hit play, x is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sum of x is 0. Length of x is 5. So when I start this, index is 1. And then it's going to say x of 1. Remember when you're using your matrix, when you're trying to ask for a certain element of a matrix, you can do x parentheses index. So x of 1 is 1, and then it's going to keep going. Now index is 2, x of 2 is 2, and I can keep going over and over and over again until finally sum of x is here. Now, what the benefit is this is, say I have x equals, say 3, 8, 12, 15, and I want to add these all together, right? When I hit play, remember, sum of x starts off at 0 because I initialize it here on line 9. X of 1 is 3, so sum of x is going to be 3 now. See? And then when I come back, index is 2, x of 2 is 8. So now 8 plus 3 is what? 11. And then it's going to keep going over and over again until it hits length of x, right? Index is 4, the length of x is 4, and sum of x is 38. 8 plus 12 is 20, plus 15 is 35, plus 3 is 38. All right? So we'll do a ton of examples of loops in class, but I just wanted to give you an intro. The next type of loop is a while loop. Say I want to multiply, I want to do, say, powers of 2 until I exceed, say, what's it? Let's just do a megabyte. 1024, right? So I'm going to say num. So I'm going to say power of 2 equals 1, right? I start at 1 because 2 to the 0 power equals 1. Okay, and I'm going to say while power of 2 is less than 1024. And then I'm going to say power. I think power is a built-in function. So I'm going to say POW. POW is a built-in function. How about let's say power of 2 is 0 and num is 1. And then move this down here. I'm going to do this. So I'm going to say while num. So I want the number to be less than 1024. So now while loops are very, very unsafe. If I hit play here, notice that over here in MATLAB it says busy. That's because the code is running over and over and over again. I'm going to hit Control C and break the loop. But if I just type in num here and hit play, it's just going to spit out num over and over and over again. Now what I want to do is I want to do power of 2 plus equals power of 2 plus 1. I want to increment that. So if I hit play, the power of 2 goes up over and over and over again. And then what I want to do is I want to recompute num. So I want to say num equals 2 to the power of 2. And watch what will happen. It'll go all the way up to 1024 and then stop. So let's see what's happening here in this while loop. So I'm going to hit a break point there. I'm going to hit play. Power of 2 is 0. Num is 1. Then it's going to say, is num less than 1024? It is, so keep going. Power of 2 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1, so now power of 2 is 1. Then it's going to go 2 to the power of 2, so 2 to the first power is 2, so now num is 2. It comes back to the while loop. Is 2 less than 1024? It is. It's going to keep doing this a couple times. Let's check on it. Power of 2 is now 5. 2 to the 5th power is 32. Let's do it a few more times. Power of 2 is now 7. 2 to the 7th power is 128. Okay, 6, 5, 12. Okay, here we go. Power of 2 is 10. 2 to the 10th power is 1024. And then is 1024 less than 1024? It's not. So the arrow goes to a down arrow and it quits. See that? All right, again, we will do a lot of examples of this in class, but pretty much with if statements and for and while loops, you can pretty much do every single code that has ever been created. Congratulations. Good luck.